For self-mastery.
Great. Double joy. Yes. I got double joy tonight. You can't beat that. So. Thank you, guys. Welcome, everyone. What a beautiful day. It's February. I think February has lost its identity because I didn't wear a coat and I have open-toed shoes on and open back heels. So, it's amazing. But I'm happy about that. I love the sunshine. Took a walk today. Had 4 deer run in front of me on my walk, so that was kind of a good sign. I also had a message from a friend about deer this week as well. So deer is very special to me. Kiri knows that from a long time ago. So, but I'm happy to be here. For those that don't know me, my name is Susan McFarland. I am a Coptic minister, have been since 2011, I believe it was. So, it's been a great journey. Love the Coptic Fellowship and all your smiling faces. I'm now currently helping facilitate self-mastery. So if anyone's in WSO and teacher training, next year, self-mastery, I'll be there. Do a lot of yoga and a lot of different Coptic teachings. So Linda's going to be there. Teresa's with me right now, so we're good. Today, I want to talk about simplify. Did anybody have a busy day? Yes. How about a busy week? Very busy. See, week, Sunday's a little calmer, so maybe it was a little quieter today, but weeks get kind of busy, don't they, with work and family and responsibilities. Complicated, busy. I have 2 teenage daughters. One is 15 and one is 13. I keep having to remember that. And they keep me pretty busy. I was at a volleyball tournament most of the day yesterday after I did my yoga in the morning. I had to do that to survive volleyball, so... If you've ever been to a volleyball tournament, you understand. They're a little crazy. But I want to talk about simplifying. But I don't want to talk about, when we think of simplify, we might think there's a big push on minimalism and that sort of thing, which is a great thing, and I would really like to get more into that. I am not a minimalist. I'm an aspiring minimalist. I don't know if I'll ever get there, but we'll see. But it's not about minimalism. It's not about scarcity or lack. It's more about gaining and abundance, and how do we gain in our life. I'm not going to teach you how to organize things. I'm very OCD about organizing things, so I can do that if you'd like that, but that's not what I'm going to talk about today. Maybe a different workshop on another day. But what I want to do is talk about simplify. So in order to build my talk, I wanted to simplify it. So I took every single letter, and then I came up with kind of a thought and a paragraph in regards to every letter. So I'm going to start with that. Teresa's heard some of this talk. I kind of tried it out in my self-mastery class, but I've added a little bit to it, so hopefully it's not too redundant for you, but she's back, so that's a good sign. She came, so, and I appreciate that. So the first thing I want to talk about is the S, and S is a very strong letter, and if John was here, he'd probably tell you all about that. But what I come to mind with S is sacred solitude. That's where it starts, right? So simplify starts with the letter S. And for me, and I'm sure being Coptics that you are and on a spiritual path, it starts with sacred solitude, right? We need to start our day in sacred solitude. We need to find time for sacred solitude. So I want to start, first of all, with talking about a quote from Hamid Bey, and he says, "My suggestion is, do not try to become complicated, because you will confuse and change your rhythm. I have talked with many people, and those who have more trouble than others are those who have complicated mentality. Simplify your mind, and thus simplify your thinking. Try to understand how to function and what you are. And how do you do that? You do that in sacred solitude. Sacred solitude is about mindfulness. Kiri could talk to you about mindfulness. Kiri has started a foundation about mindfulness. So If you're aware of mindfulness, it's about awareness and attention, right? And it's a big kind of a buzzword right now. So, and one of my favorite things to talk about. Meditation. He talked about meditation from Hamid Bey. Meditation is critical, and I'm sure you've heard that 1,000 times here. And prayer. I like to add prayer into my meditation as well. Other things I like to do are walking in nature, and now that it's warmer and sunnier and there's less ice on my path, I can walk in nature a little more. And yoga. I find yoga to be very helpful for my times of sacred solitude. But everybody has their own. Everyone's different, and what works for me may not work for you. But I would say meditation for sure is just going to help you in that sense. So what I did with each one as well is I wrote a little paragraph, and it kind of gives you an insight to some of my life. So I'll read the one from Sacred Solitude. The sun is rising up, anxious for a warm winter day. A cat sleeps on my lap while another lays beside me. Plans have been made for the day. Groceries and yoga are on the horizon. Sitting in sacred solitude for an inspired reading and a morning meditation has me longing for stillness. I'm in no hurry to rush through this day, wanting to savor the stillness while it is here, in this moment. This is the purpose of winter, the time of quiet reflection. Use this season for a renewal of your commitment to sacred solitude. Nature is resting. You should too. So are we finding time in winter to rest? Because that's what winter's supposed to be about. Nature rests. The trees are resting. I love trees. So the next letter is I, and I stands for Independent Ideals. When I think of independent ideals, I think about what matters to me. What are my ideals? What are my values? What do I value in life? So while you're in sacred solitude, or sometime, maybe think about what matters to you. What matters to me is God or Spirit, Creator, however you may see that, universe. Family and friends matter to me. I make time for my family. My family is a huge priority right now. They still need me. They're teenagers, so they may not know that they need me, or want me around, but but they still do. And friends, I like to spend time with friends. I have lunch with Teresa and Kiri every month. It's very important to me to have that time. Other things that I do for what values for me, I talked about yoga before, but writing is very important to me. And I've lost touch with that in different times of my life, but I've kind of recommitted myself this year to writing. And, whether you see my writing or you don't see my writing, I'm going to write. And so instead of putting something out there that I think I have to write and I have to write for others, I'm just going to write for myself. And it may never see the light of day, and it may get tossed and thrown away or deleted, in the case may be, because everything's digital now. So for independent ideals, I wrote, founded on the ideal of independence, our forefathers fought and died for this concept of independence. My heritage dates back to these times. My ancestral relatives were part of the U.S. Revolution. My daughter listens to the Broadway musical Hamilton. Does anybody like the music from Hamilton? Are familiar with that? I'm sure Linda knows it a little bit. Sarah's is obsessed with it. She's OCD on Hamilton right now, so that's all she listens to. She's inspired me to remember my call to independence. Going within and being reliant on this practice enables me to determine and dwell on my values. Gather strength from your independence. Live your ideals as if your life depended on it, because it does. So, moving on to mindful, manageable moments. That is the M. So, be present. What am I doing? What are you doing right now? Listening? Sitting? How are you sitting? Are you sitting straight up? Are your feet on the floor? Are you mindful of that? What am I doing? Why am I doing it? Is what you're doing, and what is the intent behind it? Why are you doing it? Do you have to do it? Do you want to do it? Do you like doing it? I'm really thinking about things that I do in my life, and I really, if I don't want to do it now, I'm not going to do it. So I've gotten to that point where, I'm 50 plus years old, so I can choose that. Priorities. It's what I'm doing lining up with my values that I determined earlier. So for mindful manageable moments, I wrote, as much as we plan and schedule, life is ultimately broken down into small moments, like this one here. So let's take a moment and breathe. I was going to do that at the start and I forgot. So, it is our choice how we come into these moments, either mindfully or thoughtlessly. I find that the more I manage my moments, the more I can bring awareness to them. The challenge for me is to bring this same mindfulness into unplanned moments. Regardless if these spontaneous activities are fun or chaotic, a mindful approach will help to bring your attention to the gifts that they bring. And whether they are chaotic or whether they are fun, they are all gifts. And sometimes we forget that. And I think I forgot that a couple times today. But that's okay. Positive possibilities stands for the letter P. Creative expression, writing, art, dance, gardening, building, cooking. Those are creative expressions that have positive possibilities in them. Does anybody like art? Any artists here? I am not, yes. Wow. What is your art?
So I'm not an artist, but I like that.
Yeah? Yeah. I'm not an artist, so I just am really amazed by people that are artists. So, yes? Yes? Wonderful. What's your favorite form of art? Like, what? Like painting or scrapbooking for Teresa? Yeah. Dance. I used to dance when I was growing up. That was my form of expression. Now I do yoga. I think it's kind of the tie-in from dance to yoga. So, gardening. I love gardens. I don't like to garden. I love Mother Earth. I don't like to garden. I try. I just don't. So, but some people really find that that's cathartic and grounding, and it is for some. But for me, it's stressful. So, building. My husband likes to build things. So he's not a builder, but he wants to build things. So that's his creative release. And cooking. How about any chefs? Hans, your chef? Very good. You can come over to my house anytime. It's all good. Yes. Chefing too. Awesome. What's your favorite meal to make?
Me?
Yes.
Asian.
Asian. Very good. I had Asian food Friday night. It's delicious. And then other things that I think are good with positive possibilities are new experiences, traveling, classes. We have a lot of classes at the Coptic Center. The one on the 10th sounds really exciting to me. I'm going to go to that. I don't get away for classes as much as I'm wanting to, so anytime I can sneak away and do that, I'm happy. Traveling, I love to travel, within the United States or overseas. Been to many places with my family and myself, so it's good. So new experiences, but you can have a new experience in your backyard, right? Like you can go and check out something that you didn't notice before. So, a frog. I mean, your backyard changes every day. So, definitely. Now that it's warm, there's probably a lot of frogs out there. So yeah. What were we on there? We were on P. So for P. I wrote, positive possibilities. Finishing up a phone conversation with a woman from a nonprofit organization has my spirit excited for positive possibilities. The connection is real and authentic. Opportunities for both of us abound in the unseen. Will I hop into the abyss and see where I land? Will I jump off, dive in, or leap forward into the unknown? That's a little scary, isn't it? I don't know. It started with a step and then an action. One forward movement at a time will lead me into a new direction. Listening to my soul sing assures me that this is a positive move. Your soul knows. If your soul's singing, that's a really good indication that it's something you should do. Should I take the risk? Is there a greater risk of loss if I don't take it? What am I missing out if I don't take it? Something to think about. So, love and life, L. What does it mean to love life? What would it look like to love your life? Do you love your life? Awesome. That's an awesome answer. That's something to think about. There was a time in my life where I didn't love my life. It's all about gratitude for me, imagination, and allowing. Being in a state of gratitude and being grateful for what's in my life. Imagining what my life could be if it's not where I want it to be. And allowing to have what happens. So for loving life, I wrote, a decade ago, I didn't love my life. I knew Teresa then. I even knew Carrie then. Untrue to myself, I lived for perceived expectations and cultural standards. I was in corporate America. Can imagine. Struggling to find my place in the world that didn't line up with my soul. Honestly, I was so busy trying to manage and control my life that I didn't know about my inner voice. I was scared to listen to my inner voice, honestly. I certainly didn't listen to it. I was scared of stopping, afraid of what I might hear. Has anyone ever been afraid of stopping? Do you know people that are afraid of stopping? Yeah. Yeah, no, it's not. Looking back, that was the moment of change. Mindful of possibilities, aligning with my values during times of sacred solitude, brought me to a place today where I can honestly say I love my life. Struggles and chaos find their way into it. With teenage daughters, that's going to happen and probably continue for a while. But I have the tools and the know-how to manage it, instead of trying to manage a life that was not my own. So, and the thing about the Coptic Center is it gives you a lot of tools to help you manage your life. And you get to pick and choose which ones work for you, and the ones that don't work for you, let them go. So where are we at? On I, inspired intuition. Listen to inspiration or in spirit. Act on intuition and trust your instincts. Enjoy, be in joy. So we have it all. Inspired intuition, that is. We all have it. Not we have it all, I read it wrong. It's interesting too, though. We all have it, inspired intuition. A few of us listen to it and act upon it. It is a gift of spirit. Intuition, the small voice that resides deep within, is a call from your soul. Stillness is the key to engaging with this awareness. In meditation or simply in breath, for a moment, we can alter our reaction and our course of action by paying attention to it. Are you listening? Can you hear it? It calls to you subtly as a whisper, yet the strength it carries has the power to change your perception and the direction in an instant. It's a gift. We must open it, though, right? So, almost to the end. Fun freedom. That's a fun one. Fun freedom is about living your authentic self and trusting in the process and being in chill mode and letting go. I am not good at chill mode. I admit it. If there's like a Alcoholics Anonymous, Chill Anonymous, I don't know what that would be, but I am like, it's not I can be an intense person, so I'm learning how to be chill. So a friend of mine I had a conversation with today, and she gave me a mantra that I think kind of fits in here, and I'm trying to remember it. But it's holding it together while letting it go. So think about that. So it's kind of, in yoga we have our center here, and it's holding it together, holding your space, owning who you are, and letting the rest go. And I used to find validation, or try to find validation and authenticity outside myself, as many people do. And now I feel like it's inside of me, and so I'm holding my space. And you can come at me, and you can do whatever, but I'm going to hold my space, and then I'm going to let it go. And it's, it's kind of that whole respond and not react type of thing. It's, things are going to happen. That's how life is. But how do we handle it? Can we hold our space? Can you hold on? Do you know who you are on the inside? And that was, I thought that was a perfect thing for me, perfect thing for the talk, and I think it's going to be my new mantra. Holding it together while letting it go. Because sometimes I fall apart. So, working on that one. Yes to yourself. Honor your innate... Oh, I didn't read you the fun freedom, did I? Freedom is one of my favorite words. I don't like to be controlled. Probably not too many people do. I like the freedom to live how I want to live, do what I want to do, as long as it's respectful and not harmful to others or the planet, and be who I want to be. This may be why I have compassion and understanding for people who express their lives uniquely from the common norm, if there is such a thing anymore. Collectively, we as a human race seem to struggle with this concept. We all have varying ideals. This is a beautiful aspect of being human, not something to fear. Freedom with understanding and compassion is true freedom. If we want the freedom to be, then we need to extend this to all, not the select few who believe as we do. Seems like that's needed right now in this world. So, and where are we at? The why. We're at the end, people. Hold on. We're good. Yes to yourself. Honor your innate desires and live your life. Are you living your life? Or are you living someone else's life? I think I used to live someone else's life. You know, I tried to please my parents. Yeah, for someone else. Yeah. In my 20s, you know, I worked at a corporate job, and I was trying to, be everything. Teresa knows that. Trying to be everything for everybody, and I wasn't living my true and authentic self. So, yes to yourself. How many times do we say yes to people, actions, or ideas that don't create happiness in our lives? So in sacred solitude, think about that question. Where are you saying yes to people, actions, and ideas that don't create happiness in your life? Are we listening and saying yes to ourselves? Living a simple life requires knowing what matters to you at the deepest level and then honoring that innate wisdom. It can mean releasing the people, places, and things and ideas that don't align with your authentic self. Focusing your life on the essential aspects of your inner being while letting go of the non-significant parts simplifies your life and allows you to live with ease and grace. And with that, I'm going to close with a message from Hammond Bay. It's in Lesson 33. And it says, our purpose is learning to master ourselves. In the scripture it says, first he saw the light. Then he stepped into the light. And then he was the light. In other words, first you listen, then you tell your neighbor, and then you practice. The word practice is really prominent right now to me. It keeps coming back and back, and it's, in yoga we talk a lot about practice, and if something is meaningful and valuable to you in your life, then it becomes a practice, right? Is music a practice to you? Right. It's more than just playing music, right? It's a practice. Feed your soul. Live the law. Always try to simplify the law, for that is where the truth is. And with that, I say, namaste.